Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Another edition of Skip Happens. Love it. I get to talk to people from all around the world. And tonight, I can tell you, we're going to go north of the border, Canada, and pretty big in Canada, making his way into the United States via Nashville. And we've been chatting a little bit off the air, and now we're on, and we're going to find out even a little bit more. I want you to say hello to my new friend, Anthony Vaughn is with us. Anthony, how are you, bud?
I'm great, Skip. How you doing?
Doing well. It's so good to see you. Tell everybody, where exactly are you?
Well, I'm from Toronto, Canada. I am born and raised in Toronto. I now live in a town just outside of Toronto called Milton. So I always say Toronto because Milton's a smaller town outside of Toronto, but it's very close to Toronto. But Toronto, Canada is where I'm from.
What's the main highway? Is that the Queen?
QEW is one of the main, and the 401.
And the 401, I was thinking about that.
Yeah, the 401's our big highway. The QEW is the one that goes around the lake and connects to Buffalo.
Isn't that like, because I've gone to Toronto via Buffalo, like you say, but when you get on that highway, isn't it like 4 or 5 lanes wide?
The 401, yeah.
Yeah. And if you slow down, you don't slow down.
They'll run you over. Yeah, you got to keep moving. You
have to keep moving. But hey, it's good to see you. It's good to have you on tonight. Like you say, you're from Toronto. You're no stranger to putting out great country music. You've been doing this for close to 25 years now, if not a little bit more. And they say that your music kind of embodies the fusion of, you take Memphis. I can't talk. It's Memphis. No, it's Memphis and Nashville. And that's how you're described in your bio. You feel that's accurate?
Yeah, that is accurate, and the reason why they peg that is because my major background is my influence is Elvis Presley and a lot of the Memphis sound. Like you got Johnny Cash, you got Carl Perkins, Jerry Lee Lewis, all those throwbacks. I mean, that's my love, the early rock and roll, and then fusing that with like 90s country. Like I really took a liking to 90s country. All the great artists from there, like George Strait, Garth Brooks, Shania Twain. And my writing style is a combination of the both. Right.
Okay. That's cool. Now, because is there, in your opinion, I'm going to ask you this right off the top. You've got Canada, you've got the United States. What is the difference when it comes to country music?
I'd say just you've got a lot more country artists in the United States. You've got a lot more radio stations in the United States. We'll probably have like 40 or 50 major radio country stations in Canada. The US, you've got 300, 400, 500 stations. Countries just it's more I guess just bigger, just much more bigger in your country than it is in ours, but we love it in Canada just as much as you do in the States. It's just you just have a bigger marketing scheme there, right? So that's why No,
and I get that. I was always a fan of Doc Walker, and Emerson Drive came out of Canada. Those guys always back in the day. I just loved those groups. But then it seemed like there's a lot of artists make it really big in Canada, and yet they come over here and now they hit Nashville, and it's like for them starting all over again. I mean, I have interviewed some artists that have been, top of their game in Canada, and then over here in Nashville, it's okay, we got to start over, so to speak. So,
well, that because you have a lot of talent, a lot of when I did the CMAs in June, and I did the Hard Rock Cafe 615 live. Just the talent on my show alone was incredible, and then all of the talent that I saw at the CMAs, it's just endless. And even when I was taking a break from my shows at the CMAs, just going into some of the clubs on the boardwalk, just talent after talent after talent, and I got to sit back and just see the people that are playing in the clubs. They're recording artists themselves. It's just
exactly.
nonstop talent, So there's a lot of competition in Nashville, a lot of competition, and even in Canada too. I mean, I do well in Canada, but like you said, when you come to the States, you really got to push your game. You got to really really go at it. Yeah, and but I enjoy every stop I make in the U.S. Even when I did my radio tour in June, it was a lot of fun. The people are great. They welcome me with open arms. I mean, every state when I went to, they like the new single that's out. So yeah.
Yeah, so I would assume that was CMA Fest that you went to.
Correct.
Yeah, CMA Fest. So you actually played at CMA Fest,
Yeah,
or you were
Hard Rock. Correct.
Very cool. Very cool. And of course, who else was playing with you? Do you recall?
You know what? I couldn't remember.
So many, probably.
Yeah, I couldn't remember all off by hand, but what I did notice, Skip, is that there's maybe 3 male artists on this bill, and then 10 female artists. So that's what I've noticed in country music. There's a lot of female artists from going back 10 years. I think the female artists they've tripled us. So yeah.
Well, you may be right that there's a lot of female artists out there, but it seems like there's only a limited number that are being heard on the radio. I think we need to have more of a female presence. I mean, we got your Luke Bryans, we got your John Parties, I can go on and on and on. But I could probably, in one hand, there's Miranda Carey, Lainey Wilson, very few. So, but we need more. In my opinion.
I was just talking about when I'm seeing like live performances. It was like all over Nashville. It was just a lot of female country artists all over Nashville. So as opposed to recording, I guess you're correct with that. I mean,
I got you.
But it's going to change. It's going to change. The female especially with Lainey Wilson and everybody, all the females are starting to dominate for sure.
So you put out a Christmas song. Ahead of that, of course, you had "I'm Going to Memphis," if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
And now you've got a brand new song that just came out. Matter of fact, hang on a minute. I think I have it right here. You let me know. All right, here we go. Let's see. That's it, right?
That's the one.
Let's give it a little bit of a listen. Here we go. And then we'll talk about it.
You kiss me first, I'll kiss you last. You're a little bold, I like it like that. You kiss me first, I'll kiss you last. You kiss me once, I'll make it last. I've been waiting all week for the things to say. It's Friday night and I got my date. You're looking real pretty, you're looking real nice. If you kiss me once, I'll kiss you twice. Dance, we'll have a little fun. We do some line dances with Brooks and Dunn. If you move a little closer, I move right in. That's when the flirting begins.
Now, there it is. Kiss me. What is it? Kiss me twice?
Kiss me first.
Kiss me first. That's it. I didn't have it here up in front of me, but I did listen to it before we even went on tonight. And I said, you know what? I love the fiddle in that.
Thank you.
That is real. That the fiddle comes right out at you, and I love that. And plus, it sounds like, it's a fun song, and it's one of those that now that I've heard it again, it's going to be in my head all night, and that's a good thing. It's a really good thing.
Great. Yeah, no, the fiddle player is Shane Goose, actually a really good fiddle player here in Toronto, Canada. He's won a lot of awards here. He's really, really good. Yeah, cool. Good to have him on that track.
Awesome. Now, where did you record it there, or did you make the trip to Nashville to record it?
No, I did. I recorded it in Toronto with a producer, an Juno Award-winning producer by the name of Greg Kavanaugh, and he came up with the concept of having a little bit of a bluegrass '90s country feel to it. So yeah, and that's where you get that sound. I was quite happy with it.
Very cool. Very cool. So, and you wrote that too, correct?
I did. Yes, I did.
You did. Yeah. And I watched the video of it, and I love the setting. It's in a bar. And of course, you got the two pretty ladies sitting at the table, and you're doing your thing on stage.
Yeah, I did that in Nashville back in March. I was,
really?
I went down in March and did the video, and I was really, really happy with the video. It took about 14 hours to film that. I mean, I'm thinking it's going to be like a Sinatra. You 1-2 takes and you're done, but no, it took a while. But you getting your shots, your left, your right shots. But it was a really fun process. I really enjoyed it.
Awesome. Awesome. How often do you get to Nashville?
Well, I try to get to Nashville at least twice, 3 times a year, maybe 4 times a year. I was there. I was there twice this year already. Once in March, and then also for CMA Fest as well.
Very cool. Very cool. Now, have you been to the country radio seminar here in the States?
I have not.
Yeah, that happens in February. You should talk to Grassroots about that, and it's just a great way to get out and really network. With a lot of radio people, a lot of label execs, a lot of Grassroots to take you around, and it's pretty cool because you get to see and meet so many different people. And networking, as you and I both know, is so very important. And with what we do.
Of course, yeah. I was actually told by my manager that that was one of our things we had to do this year to go to that for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely worth it, even if you just hang out in the lobby of the Omni. I'm just saying. I mean, anybody that's anybody has to walk through there. So, okay. Or you go down to bar lines and you hang out in the bar. You pick yourself out a stool earlier in the day, and there it is, and it's waiting for you when you're done. So that's pretty cool. So, whereabouts did you go on the radio tour? What did you hit New York State at all?
I did. Yeah. So we first when we went down, we went to Nashville first. Then we went to Alabama. Then we went to Georgia. Then we went to West Virginia, then up to Pennsylvania, New York State, and then Connecticut.
Oh, very cool. You made your rounds. How many radio stations do you think you had?
I'd say at least 25, at least. So,
and you were up at the crack of dawn to go on the morning shows.
Yeah, 8 o'clock every morning, and then it's maybe 4 a day. Sometimes no less than 2, but like 4, a good 4 a day. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, and that's what a lot of people don't realize, that you as an artist, and especially as an independent artist, it's a lot of work that goes on that nobody sees. I mean, the traveling and going into the radio stations and meeting the program directors and the on-air personalities, and 8 o'clock in the morning, you got to have that smile on your face and that cup of Tim Hortons in your hand, and and maybe a good pastry, and you hit the radio station.
You know what, Skip? I'm not a morning singer either. It's quite funny when I'm trying to, they want you to do a couple numbers of your song. I'm not a morning person at all when it comes to singing, but I still found it fun. I mean, all the program directors and the jocks were super, super cool. Super nice, and
I love that,
and super funny. They're cracking jokes right off the top.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah. Oh, yeah. One thing I would do when the artists would come through on the radio tour is, they'd come in with their guitars, or some of them have even showed up with a keyboard. But normally I say, you know what? I'm going to play the studio version. You hang out. We'll talk about it. But I'm going to play the studio version. And I do that for a reason, that you get the full feel of the single. Right. You get the real deal. And if afterwards you want to play something on the guitar or whatever, that's fine. But to hear the single that's out being sent to radio, in my opinion, you want that full studio sound. You want it. This is it right here. This is what you're going to hear. So I always do that.
Right, because when you're playing it acoustically, it's stripped down, so you might not get that same effect, like you're saying. You're getting that full studio sound. Correct.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah. So you've been doing this for a little bit, obviously,
right?
And you got a family, and is this all you do? I mean, you're just an artist. I shouldn't say just an artist. I'm just saying you're an artist.
Skip, to be honest with you, because I'm independent, I need another job to fund this.
Right.
I mean, music. If I would do this totally full time, this would be exactly what I would do. But I have another job to fund this project, because I mean, to get, first of all, you have to have investors as an independent artist, and you also need to be able to fund this as well. So yeah, no, I'm a landscape architect. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Oh, yeah. Very cool.
Yeah.
So do you do like homes, or are you strictly business?
Yeah, basically what I'll do is I'll design and construct and landscape homes. That's what I did. I studied music and landscape design. I studied the two of them together at the same time.
I always think this is very interesting. because you're not alone. I mean, everybody I talk to says, yeah, I work at Kroger, or
Yeah.
this is your profession, something to fall back on, but you can still do something that you absolutely love and you have a passion for, and you're doing very well at it. But
Well, my dad passed away when I was 16. So my dad told me, because he knew I loved music. So he said to me, son, if I know you love music, but learn a trade. So that way you have the one to fund the other. And he was not wrong. So I mean, I continued to do that, and I'm glad I did, because I hear a lot of music. The artists that I talk to, like they go on Broadway, and they're playing all night long for the tips that they play, and they work really hard at it, right? And I mean, I just this is my way of doing it. I want to be able to write and create my music, but I want to fund it in my own way, which is the way I'm doing it. So,
exactly.
Yeah.
The Syracuse University, or it's not really Syracuse University, it's the State University of New York, but they got the ESF school. And that it's big in landscape architecture and all that. ESF, Environmental School of Forestry, maybe. I don't know. It's something like that. But yeah, it's a big landscaping school, of course. It's right next to SU. It's up on the hill. So it's kind of cool.
Excellent. Yeah, because we have a couple here. We have one in Toronto called Humber College. That's where I got my degree. And then there's also the University of Guelph too. So, and they're quite big in landscaping. You can get into forestry. You can get into arboriculture, which is trees and that. But I just got in the general part of it, where I could study basically designing the exterior of your house, right? So that's what I
got you. I'll be calling you. I need some
okay, no problem. No
And
problem.
I'll put you on a stage in front of listeners too.
There you go.
I would love to do that. Where do you see yourself like in 5 more years?
I'd like to see if I can at least write another 2 albums, 3 albums for sure.
Okay.
If not 1 album, at least 2 EPs in an album. I love writing music every year. This upcoming fall, I like to write another holiday song. I've written one already called "I'm Coming Home for Christmas." I like to write another one, and then in the new year, I like to get writing on my new EP.
I love that. I love that. So, when you write a song and you pick up your guitar and you're going to play it, I mean, do you do that for your wife, or say, honey, what do you think of this? Do you think it's worth it or not, or anything like that, or a friend?
One song I wrote for my wife, and that was 3-4 years ago. It's called "In Summer Love." I wrote that for my wife. So yeah,
cool.
It happens in many different ways. I find that I write a lot of songs when I least expect it. An idea comes to me, and then what I do is I'll have my device, and I'll sing it into my phone.
Yeah.
Whatever the hook may be, whatever the the catchphrase may be, I'll make sure that I don't lose that idea, and then I'll take it into my studio and I'll start writing it. And some songs may take 30-40 minutes. Some songs may take 6 months. So, but I'll start my ideas. I might have 5, 6, 8, 10 songs going at once, and then 2 may finish within 40 minutes, and then the other 10 may take 6 months. And then I collaborate that with my team, my manager, my producer, and then we decide which songs will go on the EP or the album.
Nice. Yeah. How big of a team do you forget about grassroots, but I don't mean forget about grassroots, but not in this part of the conversation, is you and your team there. How big is that team?
Well, I've got 4 here. So I've got my social media, I've got my writing collaborator, I got my producer and my manager, nice. and then my family, which is my big team. And then I've got a big team in the US too. I've got Grassroots. I've got my publicist, Nicole. I've also got my videographer there in the States. So they help me a lot in the States as well. So you got for anybody that's in this business, you got to have a good team around you, for sure. Right.
And you got to have somebody to bounce things off of as well.
Yeah.
When you go to Nashville, do you walk Broadway? Do you get out there at all? I know you said you were at the CMA Fest, but
I do.
You do.
I do. I'm a big student. I like to walk Broadway. I like to always soak
Nice.
in what I can. I mean, I'm always learning. I'm always listening. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of talent in Nashville. A lot.
Ton of talent.
Yeah.
Ton. Sometimes I think there could be too much. I don't even know if that's possible, but yeah, there's so many people that they're like, okay, I'm going to Nashville. I'm going to give this a shot. A lot of people make it and a lot of people don't. So,
Yeah.
but I guess if you don't go, you would regret not going. You know
Of
what I mean?
course.
So, yeah. Do you any particular place you hang out when you're in Nashville? Do you get out of town at all? Maybe up to the Station Inn, or do you go to the Bluebird? And have you played at the Bluebird? Probably not.
I
right?
haven't. I was when I was
Yeah.
there in June. I wanted to get in. I could not get in. I guess it was already full. It was already packed. I was getting my manager to try to get me in there, but no, I did not play the Bluebird yet. One of my checks I like to get on the bucket check on my bucket list, but no, I have not played there.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm pretty sure you will. There's no doubt,
Thank you.
which is really cool. Have you been at your writing? When you sit down to write, do you get into like a writer's session with other people, or is it just you?
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right. It's all right. I'll
Sorry
answer it.
about that. Sorry about that.
It's all good.
Yeah, I like to get a lot. I write a lot of my music on my own, and what I'll do is I'll collaborate with another one of my writers. His name is Chris Smith, and I'll bounce things off of him. If I don't like the way the bridge is going in the song, if I feel it needs, maybe it's just too simplistic. It's maybe my song's only got 3 chords in it, and it doesn't. To me, it doesn't sound like it's got enough. It doesn't got enough. Maybe enough changes in the song. A lot of times, songs need that little extra bridge in there that I might need a little help with. Most of the time, I write everything on my own. My one thing I'd like to do is I'd like to get to Nashville and write with some of the other writers. That I know there's a lot of writers in Nashville, but that would be one of my things that I'd like to do.
Get into a writer's round.
For sure.
And, I've actually I've sat in those and watched how it all comes together, and it's just amazing. It's amazing how all the thoughts come out, and then everybody kind of does their own thing, and then all of a sudden, next thing you know, you got a song.
Yeah, because like if I'm sitting with 2 other people, 3 other people, see, for me, I have to, if I'm writing by myself, I don't have to really be rushed at it, which is what I actually like about being a solo writer. There's no time frame, right? So you can put songs aside and come back to them, and then eventually the thought process, once you give it a second to breathe, you eventually do figure it out. But when you're with 4 other people, it's a much faster process because you've got more ideas coming at you, so you can finish that song in record time now. Right.
Yeah.
So if you come up with the idea, it's pretty cool how they start, that he's got the bridge, he's got the hook. It's really cool. And that's one thing I haven't experienced yet, is having a team of 3 or 4 working with. I've only had a team of 2 right now. So,
it can only get better. Just keeps getting better for you. That's pretty cool. it says here you had a strong presence on television as well as radio. What have you done a lot of TV?
Well, for TV, basically, I've done a lot of charity stuff on TV.
Okay.
I've also done, doing some like when I was doing some sports, when I was doing the anthems for the Blue Jays, I would be singing the national anthem. I mean, I found that nerve-wracking because you've got 50,000, that are watching you do the anthem. So I feel like I got a pretty good presence, when I'm on television. Also, too, when I did the video in Nashville, I everybody really commented on the video how well it was done. So yeah.
Very cool. Do you follow the Blue Jays?
I do. I don't. They're not doing too good this year. They've traded off a lot of their players. It sounds like they're rebuilding again. But I do follow them.
They lost today.
Okay.
Because we're a big baseball family. As a matter of fact, the starting pitcher for the Jays today used to live with us, Paulo Espino, and we used to house players here in Syracuse. Paulo played for our AAA team, and then he went to another team, and then he got called up to the bigs. But I got a text today saying that he was pitching, and he was. Now, they lost, but still, it's good to see somebody up there on the mound. So it's pretty exciting.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know, I didn't hear of this guy. So he must be, again, he's, like you said, he's new. They've brought him up.
Yeah, they call him up. I mean, he's on what they call the 40 man, and he's playing in Buffalo, which is the Blue Jays AAA affiliate.
Yeah.
And so because he's on that 40 man, if they need somebody or they want to give somebody a shot that, okay, we need somebody, we'll call Paulo. So he goes up and he does his thing, which he did today. So it was kind of cool. So
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very awesome. Very awesome. And so when do you think you're going to be going back to Nashville?
I'm hoping early next year. And I'm going to take your advice, and hopefully it's February.
Yes, it's the country radio seminar, and it's towards the end of February. It's like the week, and I don't know if it's final week. I have to look. It's around the 20th, 21st, somewhere in there. So,
okay.
But if you Google it, the country radio seminar, that's, you can meet other artists. And like I said, there's all sorts of people you can connect with. And if you mention it to Grassroots, I mean, they know the ins and outs of that. So that's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Sure. For sure. I'll ask them for sure.
Absolutely. And tell us a little bit about your live performance. Is it pretty crazy? Is it pretty, would you consider like, okay, here's rockabilly. If you say Memphis, you say Elvis, you say Nashville, that's kind of, I think, a little bit of rockabilly.
Yeah, I do have a rockabilly feel. I mean, I've got the kind of rockabilly clothes on the top half, and then I've got the country on the bottom. So I've got the jeans and the boots, and so I do got that rockabilly look about my stage presence when I'm singing. I do like to interact with the audience. I'll go out in the crowd, get people going, and I like to take the guitar off. I mean, I'll play the guitar, but I like to take the guitar off so I can move around and kind of get in everybody's face. I do like to interact a lot.
Yeah. I love that. If you can connect with your audience, I've seen it happen. It's just, it's huge. It's huge. And do you, when you go out and you sing some of your songs that probably people in Canada would know more so than here, but soon it will be here. But do they sing those back to you? And when they do that, does that make you feel like, wow, this is kicking ass? This is awesome.
Hit me first. I was surprised they actually knew the words. And that's a good feeling when they already know your song that's out now. I mean, that's great, because that's what all songwriters are hoping for, that they already know your song and they're singing along with it, right? So, and if you can pull the mic away and they already know your words, that's amazing, right?
Exactly right. I was going to say something. I totally lost my train of thought, but doing that. Social media is what does that. If you put a song out, you may not hear it on the radio right away, but by the time you do, your audience already knows it because of social media. And I would assume you're on all those platforms as well, correct?
I am. I'm on Spotify, iTunes, Amazon for all of my songs. You can, for Kiss Me First is on all of those, and all of my other songs from my other albums are all there. You can reach me on Anthony Vaughn Music for Instagram and for Facebook and Twitter, and also for YouTube. You can get all my videos up there as well.
Yeah. If you could, Anthony, collaborate with anybody at this point, who would you like to do that with?
I'd have to say Lainey Wilson. I like to collaborate with her.
I could see you doing that.
Yeah, I like to collaborate with her. I think she's just on fire. She's she writes great songs. I love her stage presence. I love everything that she's doing. I love her look. I like her style. So
she's the real deal.
I've got a style that goes the other way. Like, she's got that 70s style, right? Where mine's kind of like that 50s, 60s, 90s style, right?
Right. Yeah, but I could see that happening, because if you think about the way she performs and how she handles the stage, how she handles herself, and then I'm thinking about how you would do that, I think it would go together great. I think that's a great choice.
Sure.
And Lainey has definitely paid her dues. She's been in Nashville for quite some time. She moved there in a camper, and the plumbing was bad. The floor was rotted out. I mean, you watch my podcast. She told me the whole story. It was just crazy. But now look at her, and she's the real deal.
Yeah.
You know,
she is
the real deal. Yeah,
And
absolutely.
you know what? Everybody loves her. She's,
Yep.
because she's very honest in what she says.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
and
Yep. It's funny. We're talking about Lainey. We should be talking more about you because you're awesome.
it's
And
okay.
but talking about Lainey, when I had her on the podcast, and then afterwards, I said, Lainey, I'm going to send you out a couple of coffee mugs. I'm going to send you 4 coffee mugs. She's like, oh, thank you very much. So I sent them out to her, and she did a show at the New York State Fair last year. By the way, it broke all records for attendance when she was there. For her show alone, just in the area of the stage, there was 53,000 people. It
Wow.
was just, yeah. And when I got on stage to do the presents, and I looked out, I was speechless because all I could see, as far as I could see, was people. It was
Wow.
just head to, I could have walked on heads. But we walked backstage. She looked, she goes, Skip. I said, hey, Lainey, how are you? You know, just strike up a conversation. She goes, I got all your coffee mugs on my bus, and that's where they stay. We use them all the time. And I'm like, wow. I said, and you know what? This is when you know somebody's real because they remember you. They don't have to look at a diary or find out, okay, who are you, or find out ahead of time. They remember you. And, you know, she, to this day, she uses the mugs on her bus, which I think is pretty cool. So
That's super cool.
and
Yeah.
by the way, you'll get a mug too.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
So you can drink your Tim Hortons.
Yeah. And I drink a lot of coffee, so I'll be using that mug for
Yeah.
sure.
We were talking before we went on about, you asked me about Tim Hortons. I know here in the Northeast, they're few and far between. We have a Dunkin' just about everywhere. But of course, Tim Hortons is huge in Canada, and they always will be.
For sure. For sure.
Yeah.
I actually have my own tin of coffee upstairs.
You got, and I got my own Dunkin' tin
There
upstairs.
you go.
Exactly right. Anthony, it's been pretty cool chatting with you to find out about you and what you do and the music that you're putting out. I know the single is out there. Again, if you would tell everybody, how can they listen to more of your music? How can they find out more about you? The website, and you said the socials.
For sure. My website is anthonyvonca. That's my web. You can find all my socials on my webpage, or you can go on Anthony Von Music on for Instagram, for Facebook, for Twitter, and also for TikTok. I'm all the social platforms, and for iTunes, Spotify, and Amazon, my songs are all there.
Awesome. And make sure you go to like iTunes, you buy the music.
Yes, you can.
You gotta, because it benefits the artist, and please do that. I cannot say that enough. So just because you put a lot of work into that, and you know, if somebody's going to listen to it, they should buy it. I mean, it's $1.29, right? Isn't that what it is on iTunes or something? So.
Correct. If fans want to buy my copy on my webpage, you can get a physical copy on my webpage. Just go there. You can email my manager, or email my team, and they'll send you a
that is pretty
copy.
cool.
Yeah.
Would you autograph it?
I would.
There you
And
go.
we've got merchandise. We've got T-shirts that say "Kiss Me First," and we've got all kinds of merchandise. So check it on out. Yeah.
Yeah. What a great idea, though. Kiss Me First, and those T-shirts. That's just the whole branding, the whole marketing of that is you can go in so many different directions with that. Kiss Me First.
That's true. It's a cute title, and the shirt's really nice. I know a lot of women buy the shirt. I'm getting a lot of sales. Women are buying that.
Yeah, that's a good thing. If the women are buying it, you're good. You're good. They do most of the buying anyways. Women do. So, you know, you gotta love that. Anthony, it's been great chatting with you tonight. Thanks for coming on Skip Happens. It's good to get to know you a little bit. I look forward to actually shaking your hand someday soon. We'll probably see each other in Nashville, and make it a point to say hello, or if you see me before I see you, make it a point to say hello. And really would love to you know, carry on this conversation in person, maybe over a beer. We could sit and chit chat.
Skip, thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. It's Anthony Vaughn here on Skip Happens tonight. If you enjoyed the podcast on YouTube, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you check Anthony out online. He gave you all the everywhere you need to go. He just told you. So y'all do that. Thank you for viewing, everybody. Listen to the music, and we'll talk to you again soon right here.